Howdy!
Welcome to the Hall of the Guildmasters.
Today we're going to be talking about something pretty interesting. I ended up getting involved in a session with a couple new people that I've never played with before, and they implemented something that was pretty outstanding, really, in my eyes. If you don't want to have your characters only level up in combat, they implemented a challenge system.
I was going to say, to preface this, we have no idea what this topic is yet, so.
They implemented a challenge system, so the DM knows how the characters work, like what their characters of the party are. So, playing to their strengths, they had several things mapped out for them to maybe accomplish during said D&D engagement. So, if you're if you guys are having a D&D match, or a session that's going on in a city or something, and there's not a whole lot of combat, it might be like, your character's a rogue. Maybe if you were to steal an item or do something, you do so many tasks, and it might give you enough XP to level up, or it might give you a set amount of XP instead of having to rely on combat.
That's cool. That would be good too if you if you actually wanted to set where your alignment was at, because then the DM could create goals based on.
Yeah. I mean,
That has a huge personal feel too, because I need you to do this, just you.
Yeah, just you. Right. I mean,
I like that idea.
I was playing in an Indiana Jones character during this session, and the DM actually had an objective for me to use the whip for something other than combat.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Turned out to be pretty challenging when you're in an environment that nobody knows who you are. So, give me that drink.
Oh man, especially if you failed.
Yeah, exactly.
The bartender would be like, "Eat out."
Yeah.
Nice.
It was pretty good. But to dwell on that, I mean, there are so many things that you can use to level up your characters other than combat. After playing through that, I'm like, combat is a major strategy to upgrade your character's skill, but he or she's also leveling up all kinds of other things while they're working. You know what I mean? While they're doing basic tasks. Yeah. You're going around, you're talking to people, your speech is increasing, you're having a lot of communication. Maybe you're succeeding on a lot of persuasion rolls. You're trying to investigate something through. Like, there's several steps, there's buildings you have to go to, scenes you have to uncover. Those things can all have XP allocated to them instead of just combat.
Yeah.
And you can specify how much XP is going towards each one of those things instead of just giving a bulk XP at the end of the game.
Right, I like that. I was just thinking you could have another reason there too for the bard to just go into a bar but actually play his instrument.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a bard.
Being
a bard.
You
know what that means.
Not good. But yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously something that, as a DM, if you're experienced and you want to maybe take off from just combat or giving away bulk XP, try to expand your feelings on what you can use for XP gains.
Yeah.
We're building a campsite in this thing. We're going to build camp. We're going to tear down camp. They got to hike 4 days worth of trip. You know what I mean? They're hunting. They're fishing. They're doing all
that would be
stuff.
great for a ranger.
Yeah.
Because you could literally be like, okay, get like a 15 or higher on this check. And when it relates to either building a trap or hunting or fishing or something. Like if you're fishing, you roll a 15 or high, and that could be like or do that, if it was something simple, do it 10 times, and then that'll add to your...
Right.
That would definitely make people want to do a lot more too. Like hunting or fishing instead of, set up camp. Well, do you got people watching? Yeah. Well, what else are you doing? Well, I want to carve a piece of wood or something.
Right. That could also be too, because then you just do one dice roll, and then it's like, all right, time period's passed, and that's for what you were working on. But that's like, I'm just thinking like some video games where it's like, oh, you got your whatever thing to level 2 now, level 3 now, and then the next, it's like, do it 10 times, do it 50 times, do it 100 times, and it's like to get to level 4, so like you could have an increasing cap of like, do it so, like, it's like, do this once, you get 50 XP. Do it 3 times, you get another 50 XP. Do it 5 times, and it just kind of as your...
Yeah. No, I mean, it blew my mind that it went that smoothly. I mean, I went in, I had this idea on how the game works, and there's so many each DM plays so much different than the next.
Yeah.
That there's so many more things that I had to learn and adapt to during the playthrough that felt really comfortable, and I didn't think it would, but it did. So I was glad that was implemented.
That's pretty sweet. That would help people build their own characters too, because if they're starting at like level 3, you know, when
Mhm.
you've actually got your pathway, you could almost be like, all right, well, I don't really know how I want to play my character yet, but then after 2 sessions, you'd be like, well, these are the things I've kind of been
Right.
doing, so,
Well, the thing that really excited me about it was you can finish. I mean, say you're watching a movie, okay, and it's a terrible movie because the story is good. The story goes through. There's climaxes. It ends. Okay. There's solution at the end, but there's no character building. This incentivizes your character to have depth during the story.
Yeah.
Because you can have 4 main characters in a movie and they might accomplish the task, but there's no character depth, so the movie's super shallow. And that can be your campaign if all you're doing is focusing on combat, bulk XP. But now you're like, hey, you know, you might be able to get that extra edge. You play your character like you want him to.
Plus, you get to a town and you're like, all right, well, he wants to buy a thing. What do the rest of you do?
Right.
They're going to have an answer for you.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, oh, well, this thing I'm going to do, or I'm going to try and you could also, like, okay, here's a good simple, like, if you know, the rogue, for example, you got a problem with your rogue stealing crap from other people in your own party.
Yeah.
You could be like, all right, steal from, you know, 10 people, but it could be like steal, like if you had the amount low enough to where it was like anyone, but then, or if it was like you have to steal 500 gold, now they're looking for a nobleman or something. But at the same time, you'd be like, all right, but it can't be a player character.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Steal
Well,
from
then I'm going to go steal from someone else.
Steal
I
from
want it to be-
non-player NPCs, or maybe look for somebody that has a what seems to be like high strength or high dexterity, so that it will be harder for you to do so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can always permit extra challenge in these levels up if you wanted to. You know what I mean? The challenges are endless with what you can apply. You can have easy stuff. You can have hard stuff. You pick a lock, please. But the other task might be break into a house and figure out some secret information.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, oh man, yeah, you could really work that into, each class, like Wizards studying arcane stuff, but if you want to play a Warlock and have them explore into like sanity related stuff, you know,
Right.
or.
and if you really wanted to spice it up, you could have several tasks that you write down. Usually you sketch your session before you start it. If you're thinking about the characters, write a couple things down that you might think. Every time you go over your session, just write a couple more things down. Put them into a hat. When the session comes up, pull 3 for that specific character out. Those are their 3 tasks for this session.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you don't have to just like make them up on the fly as soon as you get into the session or whatever. And it can be randomized. You know what I mean? You don't have to have specifics.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because the only other thing I was thinking of is like what would be easy, especially if people want to keep creating new characters, would be like, well, just set up something for this class and
Absolutely.
add some special stuff, depending on if they're playing a human or a Triton,
Right.
you know, or
if they complete their objectives, say you want them to pickpocket some hierarchy, maybe there's going to be something on their person that's worth pickpocketing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't want to reward them with XP, but you want to reward them with something else.
Yeah.
That would be a great way to start a campaign too. A great way to start a campaign, even if you wanted to do this just for like one session, maybe to try it out, where you could literally be like, okay, this would be a great starting session. You just got a bunch of travelers that are looking for coin, you know, and you have a noble or a shady noble that's like, hey, I've got a task, and he's personally selected each of you because you can all contribute to like this heist or this something or this investigation. But then he literally gives each one of you, all right, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you. You know, you need to go lockpick. People aren't supposed to know. The friggin' paladin's got to keep the guards distracted. So I don't know. Or the sorcerer has to.
I mean, they probably got high charisma, so
decipher.
you're probably pretty good.
Yeah.
At guards.
Yeah. The friggin' wizard has to like copy something into this tome, and they got, you know. But like you could have something set up to where it's like everyone has a part, and they all actually work together. You know, and then you get out of there and it's kind of like, oh, we did a thing together.
Right.
Because that could lead into the next session if it was like shady stuff. The next session could be like the guards found out, oh, now you're all on the run together.
And that's
you know?
That's a group character build too. Now you're adding depth to the reason the party's together and
and they're not just there.
Yeah, which sometimes is very hard to overcome.
Especially if people want to keep creating new characters, which there's no problem with.
Right, but it does make the storyline harder because a lot of characters won't have what other characters have seen. Yes. So you're missing out on plot holes. You know what I mean? Your character is like deaf to 6 months of what these other characters have seen.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, I think that would be definitely advantageous to put into your game.
I like that idea.
Well, you can implement perks too, like in your session when one of the characters rolled, what was it, 2 nat 20s, and now she has advantage on attacking bears.
Yeah, she went to
Yeah,
go attack
so-
a bear. That's right, and then
She rolled with advantage,
advantage
was it?
and
Yeah.
got 2 nat 20s, like off the same hand roll. She didn't roll 1-1. She rolled them at the same time and got 20s on both of them. So she has advantage on attacking
Yeah.
bears forever because apparently she just knows how to do it.
You could also have something like if they rolled 2 nat 1s and they just
They're very hard at sneaking up on bears.
yeah specifically
If you're invisible, it doesn't matter.
bears just know.
There's advantage on stealth checks if you're invisible. I don't care.
Yeah.
That was a failure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be a way to smooth out things like really well too, because like if they are fighting or something, give them a task together,
Right. Yeah.
so that way if they don't do it, make it fatal. Maybe they lose a hand or something.
Oh, I love
I mean, yeah,
putting that stuff in. Yeah.
make it so serious that they think, okay, I need to cooperate.
and make sure you check with your party first. Maybe some
Yeah.
members might not want to play that hard. Some people go into Skyrim and don't play it on Legendary.
Right.
I know I don't, but
I do.
a lot of people might really want to do that. Some people play Dark Souls, some people don't. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.